The avoidant will never explicitly ask for connection. Their psychology is structured around the illusion that they don't need anyone, that they're self-sufficient, that reaching out first would dismantle the protective identity they've built around emotional independence. But desperation leaks through in ways they can't fully control. Through behaviors so subtle they barely register as communication, yet so deliberate they might as well be writing your name in neon. Number 1. They engineer proximity without initiating contact. The avoidant begins appearing in spaces they know you occupy, engaging in activities that orbit your routine, positioning themselves in your line of sight without ever closing the distance. This isn't coincidence. It's a carefully calculated gamble disguised as accident. They place themselves close enough that you could reach out effortlessly, creating opportunities for reconnection that require zero vulnerability from them. The psychology is brutal in its efficiency. If you notice and initiate, they get connection without ever having to admit they wanted it. If you don't respond, they maintain plausible deniability that they were never seeking anything at all. They're begging through proximity, through strategic visibility, through the silent hope that you'll do the emotional labor of bridging a gap they created but can't admit they regret creating. Subscribe to understand the emotional patterns hiding beneath what people never directly say. Number 2, they make themselves emotionally available to everyone except you. The avoidant suddenly becomes the version of themselves you always wanted them to be, except they perform this transformation in full view of your awareness while directing it toward others. They become communicative with mutual acquaintances, emotionally present in group settings, responsive, and engaged in contexts where you can witness their capacity for connection. This isn't growth happening in your absence. It's a signal flare disguised as indifference. They're demonstrating that the emotional availability you craved isn't impossible for them. It's just withheld from you until you reinitiate on their terms. The message encoded in this behavior is devastatingly clear. They can be what you needed, but only if you're willing to pursue them again without the guarantee that they'll sustain it. They're showing you the person they could be, while simultaneously punishing you for the distance they created, hoping the glimpse of their potential will override your memory of their actual behavior. Number 3. They drop fragments of vulnerability into neutral interactions. The avoidant begins offering unprompted confessions of struggle, admissions of difficulty, moments of emotional transparency that feel jarringly out of character for someone who built their identity on impenetrability. These aren't random breakdowns in their defenses. They're breadcrumbs designed to trigger your instinct to care. They mention exhaustion, reference challenges, allude to internal turmoil, all while maintaining the posture that they're simply sharing information, not requesting support. The psychological manipulation is unconscious but effective. They're activating your empathy without directly asking for it, hoping your natural inclination to offer comfort will reopen the door they slammed shut. They want you to reach out, to check in, to demonstrate that you still care enough to respond to their pain, but they frame it as casual disclosure rather than the plea for reconnection it actually is. When the avoidant does these things, they're not testing whether you still care. They're creating conditions where you do the vulnerable thing they cannot. Admit that connection still matters enough to risk rejection by reaching out first.